The following are the 10 most mind-blowing last-minute moments in football. Kicking things off, we have Sergio Ramos, who earned the title captain clutch. On one of the biggest stages in European football, the 2014 Champions League final. It was supposed to be a dream match. Real Madrid taking on their city rivals Atletico Madrid. For Los Blancos, this was not just a derby, but the chance to write history all over again. They had not won the Champions League in the last 12 years, but Atletico showed no sign that they wanted to give them a free win today. In the most unexpected fashion, they went ahead for the first half, and what most fans saw was the misery of Atletico as the last 10 minutes elapsed. By the 90th minute, many Real Madrid fans have thrown in the towel, some of them leaving the stadium. However, the last chance was the final corner at the 94th minute, and Sergio Ramos jumped over all participants, and with a powerful header stunned the entire world. It was a goal that robbed defeat at Madrid and forced extra time. Carrying forward this energy, Madrid went on to win 4-1 and bag La Decima they always wanted, and prove the world why should they not be written off, ever. Talking about late drama, let's not forget about Real Madrid vs Manchester City semi-finals in 2022. In the first clash, Madrid saw themselves defeated on a score of 4-3, and in order to reach the final the second time, they had no option but to do something out of the ordinary. City looked set to advance, as after that stunning free kick by Riyad Mahrez, everyone knew the game was over. And by the 89th minute, the chances of progression of Madrid were a mere 1%. Again, football is a game of miracles. Saying that Madrid had almost no time to play, they equalized the tie twice through Rodrigo to make it into the final. More time was granted and City were rocked at the back. Giovanni Lo Celso's equalizer at Wembley ensured that the last 15 minutes were riveting. A fitting end to a competition that was built on drama. And Karim Benzema's penalty clinched a sensational 3-1 win, 6-5 on aggregate, and a place in the finals in what has to go down as one of the greatest turnarounds in Champions League history, or words to that effect. Tottenham, Dolm, losing 1-0 in the first leg, faced a strong Ajax side in a second leg match in Amsterdam that had one leg in the final. Things became worse for Spurs when Ajax got 2 early goals. They extended their aggregate lead and made it nearly impossible for Spurs to come from behind. But as everybody might know by now, football is all about underdogs, and with Spurs still 2 goals behind, the team had to come from behind, and just like that, Moura struck in the 55th minute, reducing the deficit. Soon after that, he got another and almost caused some serious jitters to the Ajax defenders. It did end in suspense, but in the added time of the second half, Moura sealed his hat-trick to give Spurs the ticket to Champions League final for the first time. This was a script right out of the American movie scripts. Lucas Moura's second goal means Tottenham level the tie at 3-3 on aggregate, but it felt like Ajax were under pressure. Spurs continued to pressure the Ajax in the last extra time, but could not penetrate through the Dutch team door. This appeared to be heading towards a near Burlington-style victory for Ajax until Spurs started another attack. One last chance, and then all of a sudden, that which was almost impossible. Free kick goal. It clinched a penalty under tremendous pressure and reduced the scoreline to goal difference only. But time was fast running out. In the last few seconds left before the final whistle, Barcelona went all out, including deploying keeper Marc-Andre ter Stegen as a forward. He laid a last-ditch cross, and merely as it appeared the ball was going to cross the face of the goalpost, Sergi Roberto appeared from nowhere to knock the ball into the net. Cue pandemonium. The impossible comeback was complete, and Paris Saint-Germain found themselves shell-shocked and stunned. It's still smart to this day. To be fair, even Sergi Roberto was not attempting to win the most difficult league title in the world like Sergio Aguero did at the last day of the 2011-12 English Premier League season. Manchester City's mission was simple: to victory over QPR on their home ground. That they would win the league for the first time in 44 years. But QPR clearly hadn't read the script. There were only 20 minutes for the final whistle when City fell 2-1 and Manchester United won their game against Sunderland, hence the title would return to Old Trafford. City had to raise its tempo and increase their pressure. Finally, was accomplished. And that is what Lucas Moura did. Then Spurs managed an incredible comeback in the last moments. The Ajax players fell down like the army of Night King from the famous TV series Game of Thrones, best friends forever. These scenes were crazy. But talking about crazy comebacks, nothing can be compared with this extraordinary goal of the Catalan club, and Sergi Roberto in particular. The confrontation between Barcelona and PSG in the 1/8 final of the Champions League 2016-2017. The great Barcelona of Messi, Suarez and Neymar was on the receiving end after they were smashed 4-0 in the first leg in Paris. It had never happened in the Champions League before that a team would come back from a 4-goal deficit, and nobody gave Barcelona a hope. However, at Camp Nou, Barca looked like they had a mission. In the 51st minute they scored a third, to make it 3-0 in the match, and now a mere 4-3 on aggregate to PSG. Next drama. PSG only required a single away goal to end the tie, and the Uruguayan came through in the 62nd minute. Everyone was silent, and felt like the dream of Barca has come to an end. But Neymar wasn't having it. FC Barcelona's Neymar had first scored a history for eternity. Currently talking about shirt-off celebrations. Do you remember Cristiano Ronaldo's in 2018? Never before had Real Madrid and Juventus met in a Champions League quarter-final second leg, with Madrid possessing a stunning aggregate of 3-0. All that they needed to do was not lose a 3-goal lead. Simple, right? Wrong. Juventus stood up, and wanting to right the wrongs, they started putting pressure on Madrid. By the 60th minute, they had erased Madrid's lead. Then again, for 30 minutes Madrid were flirting with the unthinkable elimination. But this is arguably Cristiano Ronaldo's best stage, the stage when the pressure is on. Then in the 97th minute Madrid obtained a penalty, and of course it was taken by Ronaldo. With the burden of the season placed on his shoulders, he calmly placed the ball into the net, and Madrid advanced to the semis and Juve out of the competition. His celebration, where he tore his shirt and posed to the impresarios that were Juve react as everyone expected, was one of the other memorable moments of his healthy career. The clash between Real Madrid and Juventus seemed destined for a showdown in extra time until some couldn't believe it. Shenanigans in the penalty area presented Madrid with a reprieve. Juventus actually allowed a last-minute penalty kick and had Buffon, who obviously lost it not because of the penalty itself, but because this man was going to take it. CR7 took the penalty and the stadium held its breath. It may have been intense pressure, but it's Ronaldo we're talking about. Such times are perfect for him. A few minutes later, he calmly put the ball into the net, and thus eliminated Juventus and advanced to the semifinals. Real Madrid. An iconic moment that can be provided by one of the best clutch players of all history. The stakes raise in matches of this type, where you expect a draw, and at the end of the final 30 minutes the score was 3-3, and the world waited for penalties. But before the match ended, France had, perhaps, the best chance to score an equalizer. Kolo Muani was one-on-one with Martinez and had a chance to go and score the goal. The shot was pure venom. Some of his teammates were already beginning to cartwheels, thinking the match was over. But Martinez had other ideas. What a save! He denied Muani, almost cost Argentina the match, and played his part in the end as the South Americans triumphed in the shootout. A moment that confirmed what football fans would always remember in the history of the Cup OS world. It's often said that the last minutes of the match are the most crucial, even in Beckham's case. He said it with the Greek national team. During a year 2001, in the last campaign for the World Cup, England was playing at Old Trafford against Greece. All England needed was a draw to reach the 2002 World Cup finals. However, not quite as you would imagine or hope for. Circumstances didn't enter our life as planned. Holding only 3 minutes advantage, Greece were leading 2-1, and everything English World Cup dreams seemed lost. This was until David Beckham took the free kick. Just on the edge of the 18-yard box. As usual, Beckham placed it real well into the corner and thus saw his team to the World Cup. Old Trafford erupted into scenes reminiscent of Beckham's famous shirtless celebration throughout the football world. But that was free kick, and as beautiful as that free kick was, this is just the second best. Because at the number 1, we have Lionel Messi, a man who devastated all his rivals in the most dramatic of ways. The clash in the scenarios in the 2016-17 El Clasico brought about a match that was not just a baseball game. This year both Real Madrid and Barcelona were fighting for the Spanish league title. For Madrid, the victory is a consolidation of hope that would almost guarantee them the league. For Barca, only victory would suffice. As the match went into the last few minutes of the switched-on Shocks match, the match was 2-2. The Madrid supporters were already prepared for a draw, but Barcelona was not. The last minute seemed to represent a paradigm example of the Barca style, and the ball got to Lionel Messi. Then, with one touch of his left foot, Messi made the decisive goal and stabbed at the heart of Madrid's champions' dream. He also removed his shirt that he wore after the match and raised it, pointing at the applause from the Bernabeu Stadium, was a symbol of Messi as a football god. And I think that is what football is: spectacular, sensational, and remarkable.